Hello everybody, Flamin' Shark back with another video, and this is the review to my blind commentary, a blind reaction to Nausicaä of the Valley of the Wind. I'm pretty sure that's the pronunciation of her name. Going into this film, I assumed it was Nausicaä, but based on how they were pronouncing her name in the film, this was obviously the Japanese pronunciation, I believe is Nausicaä. That is the pronunciation I kind of, after a certain point in the film, will decide to go with, and I'm not entirely sure that's correct, but to be fair, after I finish this review, I really doubt I'm going to be bringing up her name that much anymore, so it's not really a big deal for me to even know how to say her name properly, because unlike with a series, this is just a one-and-done video, obviously. But yeah, this was our March 2020 anime movie. Originally, this was going to go up on the 5th, on Friday, but like I said, I really just have been really out of everything, and finally got back to posting earlier today for me, yesterday for you guys, with Ask Class, which was supposed to be Ruby, but I do have the Ask Class recorded. I had the Ruby recorded too. I just had blocking issues where usually with Rooster Teeth videos, they do get blocked like automatically, but you dispute it, they go through, and then they take off the block. But this one, that's not what happened. Probably just a little error there, but I should have it up. The plan is to post it on Tuesday now, because obviously it's going to take a little while to get unblocked. And then in the meanwhile, obviously Ask Class was going to be on Tuesday, but it got bumped up to Saturday because of this. So basically those spots just switch. And then Nausicaä was supposed to be on Friday, but I didn't get around to it because last week was released, or this week, I guess, whatever, last week, this week, whatever you want to call it, was really sus for me. So I just didn't get around to it until Saturday, and now I've recorded it, and you guys will see it on Sunday. Probably in about, 10, 11, 12 hours for me from where it is, because it's almost midnight for me, and I do want to keep posting early in the day if possible. And, noon is a good time, but, even posting a little later or even earlier like I did with the Ask Class is cool as well. But I definitely really enjoyed the movie. It was not one of my favorite movies of all time or anything, but I thought it was a really good film. I thought it had a really strong message that it really went about in a way that I really appreciated, and I think it really it was a movie which spent most of the time portraying the cruelties of humanity, and yet in so many moments we saw the kindness of humanity as well, not just through Nausicaä, who was of course the best, but also through various other people, in most cases all people who were touched by Nausicaä. And it kind of shows what the kindness of the human spirit can really bring about, and shows why humanity, despite all our faults, also can be a beautiful thing. And it really kind of touched on both sides of humanity, our cruelty and our kindness. And it was just a really cool film that really said a lot in without saying really anything at all. It managed to say a lot, and that's something that is always deserving of praise, in my opinion. So I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was really cool, and I definitely am excited to see what wins the next poll that's going on this month, see what I'm reacting to in April on the movie side, because this was definitely a good pick. This was a movie I really wanted to watch also, just because it's a really old film. If I'm not mistaken, it's the oldest movie or TV series that I've ever seen on the channel. Obviously, I've watched older stuff, but as far as a thing that I've actually reacted to on the channel, I'm pretty sure so far this is the oldest thing. I believe that title went to Castle in the Sky before this, and now that title has been passed on to Nausicaä of the Valley of the Wind, which is really cool and something that I really appreciate, and something I'm really it's kind of exciting just to be able to watch something this old. I mean, this movie is almost 40 years old, and it really, despite that, obviously it had that old school look and feel, but I found that there was so much to appreciate in it, even looking at it from the lens of someone living in the year 2021, which is crazy to think about. And yeah, it's wild. This movie is not only older than me, it's not that far off from being almost twice as old as me, which is crazy because I mean, I know I'm young, but the years go by. I mean, even at my age, like a lowly 23, you kind of start to feel a little old. And I can't imagine how I'll feel when I'm 33 or 43 or 53, you know what I mean? So it's pretty crazy to think about the fact that this movie is almost 40 years old. And that's just a really cool fact, to say the least. It's something I think makes me marvel at the film even more, even though it wasn't the best of films. I think it was a great film. I think it was a really good film, but I wouldn't say it was like incredible. Like, I don't think it was the best Miyazaki work. Obviously, I think that title, as much as the movie was weird to me and maybe wasn't fully my cup of tea, I still felt that Spirited Away was just an absolute masterpiece. And it wasn't like on the level of something like that, but it was definitely a great movie, and I really liked the vibes, and I loved the main character. Nausicaä was great. I really loved her. She really appealed to me. Even if she really needed pants, and she only got pants for part of the movie because she desperately needed pants, that was honestly just so weird to me, and I'm sure that was just being true and faithful to the source material. I'm sure that was the reason behind it, since these were based on graphic novels. There were Nausicaä graphic novels, so that's pretty cool, and that's what the film was based off of. But that was still super weird. I mean, even, I don't know, it just didn't... Because it was just like nothing about the movie was like even the slightest bit lewd, and it just felt so unnecessary. Like, I liked the physics of her dress, but the fact that there was nothing under was just the weirdest thing ever, and it felt weird for Miyazaki too. It just didn't really feel like a Miyazaki thing at all, which again is probably solely because it's being faithful to the source material. So you know how that goes. That'd be my guess. I don't know. Maybe he was in a butt mood or something. I don't know. But it was a really great movie. I really enjoyed it. And I don't really have that much else to say. Obviously, links are down below in the description to Breach and Mega. I'll probably take a slight glance at the copyright for this, but I doubt it'll be anything good. So I probably will just put this on Breach and Mega. That's usually what I default to for the movies, because usually, unless I get them ready ahead of time, I don't really have time to test whether or not they're viable to post straight to YouTube. And I mean, it's a really old film, you never know, but I highly doubt it. I highly doubt this will be on YouTube. So you guys will probably see this review. If it does go on YouTube, then I just wasted the last 8 minutes talking about the film again, after spending a good 10 or so minutes talking about the film after it was over. I don't know if it was actually 10 minutes. It might have been longer, but I'm just guessing it was 10 minutes. Maybe it was like 15 or something. I was talking about it for a good while because I didn't have the credits to talk through, because the credits were so short that I actually had to, after the video was over, talk about my thoughts on the film. But yeah, no, it was a really good movie. Definitely something that I would recommend. It's a piece of anime history. I mean, it's such an influential movie. There were so many, there were so many famous people in the history of anime that worked on this movie. I mean, obviously Miyazaki at the top, but there were a lot of other potatoes. There was my man, Soundtrack Joe, and so many other potatoes that worked on this, and it was really exciting to experience this, because this movie was really cool, and I definitely enjoyed it a lot, and I would definitely recommend it. Not one of my all-time favorites, but definitely a great film for all ages, I would say. I mean, it definitely has some dark themes, but it's definitely a movie that I'd say, maybe not young kids, but I definitely think that, 10 and up for sure can really appreciate this film or enjoy it, and then certainly teens and up can really appreciate it. I think it might be a better way to put it. But anyways, that's really all I got to say, so I'll leave it off there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, those of you who haven't decided, it's time for me to bid you adieu. Flaming Shark signing out. I hope you guys have a wonderful, fantastical day, and I will see you next time with another video. Thanks for watching. Peace.